Alright guys, today what I want to do is just a basic oil change on a 2014 Sea-Doo Spark. I've only got about 14 or 15 hours on it, but I want to get that braking oil out, put in new stuff, and then not worry about it for the recommended, I don't know, 50 or 100 hours, whatever it was. You don't need a whole bunch. You can do it with the deck on. You can do it. You don't need to take this top off, so it should be pretty quick and easy. You can get at the filter through this access panel. Of course, the oil fill, and you suck it out of the fill tube there on the other side. Show you all that. But you don't need anything too crazy. You're going to need some oil. I went and got Bombardier XPS Synthetic Blend Summer Grade. I'm sure you can find some at Walmart. That's just as good, but I didn't want to look into it, and this is easy. An oil filter. It's a Rotax 956123. Just picked up one of those. They're cheap. I needed to put a little tube on an oil filter just so it fit down into that fill tube. Just a little extension. That's just some shit I had laying around. I like to use a measuring container to actually suck the oil out, put it in there, see how much I've taken out, dump that old oil out of it, clean it up, and then put the same amount of new oil back in. So I'm not guessing at levels or whatever. Then I can check it and I'm usually dead on. You're also going to need a suction gun just to get that oil out. This is just a cheap $5, $6 suction gun I've had forever, and put this longer hose on just to fit down in there. It's about 18 inches or so of hose you'll need, and that'll be plenty. You're going to need a inverted torque socket. It's an E8. It's for a 1/4 inch drive. It's nothing fancy. I just didn't have one, so I ordered one on eBay. It was, a couple bucks. And then you're going to need a 2 or 3 inch extension and a normal 1/4 inch drive ratchet. And that's about it. I mean, it should only take you 10-15 minutes. The worst part, sucking the oil out. It's just a pain. It's messy. Try not to spill a bunch in there. You're going to spill a bit. Don't worry about it. And that's about it. So I'm going to take you through the process. Hopefully go smooth. And you can do it at home. Save yourself a little money. All right, well, let's do this. Okay, so basically, you just take your little cap out. Use the included tool to loosen off your oil filter, or your dipstick, and pop this sucker out of there. As you can see, my oil's not even that dirty, but just like I said, I wanted to clean any crud that was out of there. Take your suction gun. This hose is kind of curling up on me, but it'll get down in there. I've practiced this a couple times. And you just slide it on down until she bottoms out, and you can start pulling that oil out. Takes a while with these because it's cold. I didn't run this thing. You should have probably ran it. But I'm not near water because it's all frozen right now. So you suck out as much as you can. Should be able to get about 2 quarts out. And then you're good to fill her back up again. Now be careful here when you just pull it out of this tube. You don't want to make a mess. So I like to put my finger over it. Put my finger over the end, take it out, put it in here, and see how much I get out. Should be about 2 quarts by the end of this. Takes you a few tries. So I'll shut up, fast forward this, and you don't need to see this more than once. Okay, we sucked out about as much as we could. It's just under 2 quarts. And then I can't get any more out of there. So there's probably a little in the oil filter area as well. So we're going to go over and do that now. And then we'll fill her back up. Should be good to go. Okay, the oil filter is just located at the back of this panel. Just pull it off, and there's 3 bolts. I've got a flashlight in here. This isn't normally in there. I'm going to put the little GoPro down in here so you can see me take these little bolts off and the filter off. I'm probably going to fiddle around with it. It's not going to be the smoothest because I haven't done this before. And we're going to see which way that oil filter goes in, how much of a mess I make. Hopefully I don't drop any bolts so you all laugh at me. And we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, I'm going to show you. This is those 3 bolts there you see in the center of the screen. Those are what we need to take off with the oil filter underneath. So I think, I can't see the little screen on my GoPro, but I think from down here on top of the battery, you should be able to see that. Yeah, I think you can. So we're gonna snake in here. Try not to drop anything. Do the hardest one first, which is the back one. And take these suckers off. Okay, so we got the old filter out. Came out pretty easy there. It's nice and clean. There isn't a whole bunch of metal or nothing in it, so we're in good shape there. The cover, it doesn't matter which orientation it goes back on. It can go back with in any orientation. There's no oil passages or nothing. There's just an O-ring. So make sure your oil ring's nice and lubed. I'm sure it will be. There's oil everywhere. And but when you put it back in. Also, put a paper towel underneath the oil filter reservoir. A little bit is going to drain out, a few drops, no matter what you do, because it's all the way to the top in there when you're doing this. Also, I found something out in the last couple of minutes. This cap is meant to hold this filter. So your new filter, you're actually going to have to put on it and push, and it's going to kind of sit down into this cap. I tried putting the filter in first and then the cap on, and it wasn't seating right. Like I couldn't get it sitting down in there. Then I realized it actually, you have to kind of push this in. And you can see on the old filter where the little grooves on all three sides touch. So it actually holds. It holds this filter in there nice. So now I'm going to put the GoPro back in here, and I'm going to put this assembly in there. I lubed this up a little with oil as well, so it'll sit down in there nice. The side with the hole in rubber goes down. The side with the solid metal cap is going up into this cap. Okay, I'm going to put you down in there. Well, we got the oil filter back in. The cap bolts snug down. You don't need to go overdo them. Just get them nice and snug. They kind of bottom out and they feel nice and tight. Everything looks good. I'm going to put this cover back on because ideally we don't need to get back in there. Alright, did that nice and smooth. Now we're basically going to put 2 quarts of oil in. That's how much I took out. Give her a quick fire up, and then turn her off, let it sit for a second, and check that oil. Okay, well, I took out exactly 2 quarts of oil. I've got 2 quarts of nice fresh Bombardier Summer Blend, or whatever they call it. Sure you can find something at Walmart that would do. This hose, it's a 5/8 heater hose, by the way. Not like it matters to you guys, but it'll fit just nice into the filler tube there. And I can dump oil in. So we've got our filter in and everything set up. We know how much oil we took out. I'm going to put in the same amount. and we'll fire her up and check the level. If it's good, we're done. So we'll check it now, but you should fire it up first. Suck the oil through the filter, should show high. Yeah, it shows at the max here. Okay, well we'll fire up for a second. We got everything buttoned together. That would have ran the oil through the whole system. So we can check it, and if she's good, that's an oil change. Yep, we're dead on the full line. So, that's an oil change. Alright guys, as you can tell, it's not that hard to do. I mean, yeah, you gotta fit your hand in this compartment, it's kinda tight. Don't drop any bolts, take your time, be clean. It's nothing hard, it's a one beer job. I mean, even trying to make this shitty video, still only took a half hour. Take your time, you know, get that little E8 socket, make sure your filter fits in there so you're not spilling oil everywhere. Put a couple paper towels underneath the oil filter housing, and you should have no problems. It's not a complicated job. I mean, it's cheap if you do it yourself. And it's good to know how to do that kind of stuff on your own machinery. Plus, most of us have a long time off from jet skiing. Up in here in Canada, it's pretty much most of the year. Anyways, I hope you guys appreciated the video. Hope it turns out okay. And I'll probably try doing one on changing the wear ring as well. Just to let you guys know, mine's fine, but let you know that it's not that hard either. And we'll go from there. Anyways, cheers guys. Have a good one.